The last video I posted on the Falcon did really well. I really thank you guys for watching that video up front like that. It means the world to me. But we're gonna pick up where we left off. We're gonna start with the transmission mount.
Our chief engineer spends most of his time in his machine shop, testing his automats over and over again.
Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. My name's Rob. If you're new here, I work on these old Fords like that Mustang and that Falcon, and do some old truck stuff too. If you like this sort of thing, consider subscribing. Just head down below. It doesn't cost you anything but a few seconds of your time. Hit the subscribe button and join in on the festivities. Okay, so the reason I haven't been able to get to it until now is I wanted to do it on the lift, and to do it safely on the lift, I needed one of these safety stands. So I got the stand all bolted together, and you know, it's built right here in China, so I got a lot of trust and faith in it. So anyways, we're going to put the weight of the transmission on it here and pull our mount off, and then I'm going to see kind of where everything's sitting. We're going to get an angle on the dangle with the magnetic protractor, and no, with the digital protractor, see where everything's sitting, and then also we're gonna probably set our pinion angle. We'll talk about what we need to do to get those two happy and working with each other. So let's get this thing up and see if I can't get this transmission mount off. All right. Now, I don't know why, but I thought I'd be slick and use these Allen head bolts in here. That was probably dumb. I was like, just use a bolt, Robert. Or maybe these are all that I had, I don't know. But I haven't had this down for quite some time. That's tight. That one is actually tight. Oof. Ugh. Yeah, that's right. All right, now these bolts, these two bolts here, just hold the rubber isolator to everything. And these are, oh, those are coming right up. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, so this is the mount. This is, it just takes a factory style rubber isolator, and let me show you. This is kind of what I built, and we may use it. I don't know. We're gonna see. The transmission right now looks like it's hitting the tunnel. So, you know what I should do first thing is we should get the angle of the car, and I'm going to use the pinch weld for flat because it kind of stink bugs right now the way the suspension is. We'll get the angle on the car, and we'll compare it to the angle of the transmission. Come over here, grab a marking instrument, and if I'm lucky, I can remember where I put protractor. Ah, there it is. Okay, we'll put it up here, and we'll zero. Go ahead and zero that out there. Okay, we'll zero that, and then we'll come up here, and we'll get a reading off the transmission. That's 3 degrees. So I'm just going to mark on the lift here. The pinch is at 0. Trans is at 3 degrees. It looks like it's 3 degrees down. Now, when I had the car together the first time, it did have kind of a wicked vibration here. Let's see, what are we working with here? 3 to, okay, a half. Yeah, so that all makes sense as to, well, I need to get a straight edge. Let me get a straight edge. I did have a little bit of a driveline vibe. Let's see what we're working with here. What's that say? It probably won't work that way, huh? 2.7, and it is down 2.7. Is that down 2.7? Is that what I'm seeing? Yeah, down 2.7. Well, that makes sense. Okay, so the pinch is at 0, the trans was down 3, and the pinion is down 3. Now, like I was saying, it had a vibration in it. So right now I've got both of these down like that. That is why it's not doing good things. So I can't do too much with this because it's buried up into the car mostly. So what I'm gonna have to do is change the pinion. I don't know how I did that. I mean, what you want is equal and opposite. So if you've got, let's see, what did we say? Trans down 3, you gotta have pinion up 3, because you gotta have working angles on both these U-joints. So if you got them both down like this, it's no good. It's gonna lead to vibration. You got them both up, lead to vibration. 0 is gonna have a vibration. You need working angles in the U-joints. It's black magic. I don't know too much. An old timer told me equal and opposite, and it works. So you want if you got 3 degrees down here, you want 3 degrees up there, and then you've got a working angle here that's equal to the working angle there, and then boom, you've got gravy juice, and you want gravy juice. Okay, I think I got it figured out. Well, I'm just going to use the mount that I already had. It ended up fitting better if I, let's see, let me swing it down here. So I clearanced some area. You can see where I hit it with the grinder, and the mount fits. This is a factory Ford transmission mount, so that fits. And these holes, yeah, so that's the situation there. I'm either gonna weld a lot of that back up, or just like weld big fat washers on the back of it to give the bolt a place to go. But it fits much better like this. I promise it fits. I'm doing it with one hand. Okay, there we go. So everything fits real nice. I may need to open up the holes just a touch here for the transmission mount, just a little bit, just because I don't want it kind of loaded funny. But yeah, let me take this down. So we get the stand down and put the weight of the transmission on everything, and it's fitting real nice. So nothing is rubbing. I used a piece of ram board and like slipped it up over the top of the transmission, and nothing's rubbing, nothing is close, so that's good. So whatever angle this is at now is what we're going to use to set the pinion angle. 3.8. No, call it 4 degrees. 4 degrees. So everybody says, or everything you read is like, you want 3 degrees. You got to have 3 degrees. Well, a lot of that comes from 3 degrees. From my understanding, I could be way off, is to deal with pinion wrap in a leaf spring car. Because if you have 3 degrees, when you load it up, blah, blah, that's like the most that a leaf spring car will wrap up. This car's 4-linked. It just blows the tires off. It doesn't really wrap up. It does a little bit, but I mean, it's a linked car, so I really don't have to deal with that. 4 degrees is not bad, so we're gonna run it 4 degrees here, and we're gonna do our equal and opposite 4 degrees there. So we had 3.8 down on the front, so we're gonna do 3.8 up in the back. All right, guys, we got the transmission mounted up. We got my my apprentice here, helper. State your name, sir. What's your name?
Eli.
And how old are you, sir?
6.
And what car are you working on?
A Mustang.
Oh, so close.
A blue Mustang.
No, that's the blue Mustang.
Oh.
What's this one?
White car?
A white car? Do you know what kind of car it is? It is the white car. It's the Falcon, right? Yeah. And what did we just do on it? We bolted up the mount for the, what's this thing called, remember?
Transmission?
Transmission. That's it, transmission, yeah. Good job, buddy. I appreciate your help, man. You did great. Let's get on to plating that up. I got to drop this down, pull these headers back off, and then we'll make a boxing plate for that area. Ram board. It's awesome for templates. Okay, I got our plate marked out here. And first template is drawn up. And I got to use some thicker plate on this. Normally I would just do it out of sheet metal and then just like, you know, form it in. But this stuff's pretty thick because the frame metal was pretty thick. Just got to make a plate to get back in there. I think I want to test fit the header real quick, just to make sure. I know it's fine, but just to make sure. Okay, yeah, it looks fine. I got room in there. I don't know if you can see, but there's definitely a gap there. So that worked out nice. I still got to weld a piece in there. I was just kind of being chicken shit. I wanted to make sure I didn't have to cut it back out. But yeah, that's gonna be fine. So we'll do that, and then I'm looking at this and this right here, and I plan on V-band, doing V-band on this exhaust. I might just cut this flange off and V-band the header. I might do that. I don't know. Either that or I do have a, that's gonna be a vibration in the car, so I gotta get rid of that. But yeah, I'll probably just cut it off and V-band it. Did you know if you spray paint something while the welds are hot, it's just like powder coat? Okay, next thing we can do under here is start pulling all this stuff down. This is how I had the old battery cable setup ran. I never really liked it, and yeah, I'm gonna undo right the wrongs here on this one. We'll just take all this out. We don't need this. We're gonna run a different battery anyways. I don't know, probably 10 or 12 feet of like good thick power cable out of it. Nothing wrong with using this again. Okay, so the underside of the car is pretty much close to being wrapped up. Well, that wiring stuff anyways. I'm gonna go ahead and slip that driver's side header back up there. I'm gonna hang the headers, and then what I wanna do is I wanna pull the distributor out that I have for this car. Now, it's a electronic distributor, electronic ignition, that I was running a long time ago. I had a Phytech unit, and I had terrible luck with that thing. I don't know. I heard a million different reasons why it didn't run right, and like half of the people said that it was my fault. But no matter what I did, I could not get that thing to cooperate. A million different problems. It would dump the tune. It would do weird things on me. I would think I'd get it running right, and then it would just start over from square one. And I got like an early model of it, and like I'm sure they're better now. But when they first hit the market, I was like, oh, that is awesome! Like a plug and play, ready to go EFI unit. And like I mentioned in my other video, I'm not a strong EFI guy. It doesn't super duper scare me or anything, but I really don't know 100% of what I'm looking at, and the learning curve is definitely there. So anyways, all that to say, the distributor I have is locked out because the Phytech was controlling timing. I need to get into this distributor and see if I can unlock it and allow the vacuum advance to control the curve again. Okay, so I just pulled the box open, and yeah, I still have all the parts, which is good. And the instructions are here. I believe, yes, it says how to use the mechanical advance lockout feature. It says remove the advanced components, including the springs, weights, blah, blah, blah. Remove the roll pins from the drive gear and the retainer collar. I just remembered I put this adjustable MSD cap in there so you could like dial it in. I don't know that I need that. But I don't know that I don't. This is basically a knockoff Summit version of an MSD distributor. It's got a little Hall effect sensor in there. And it's got actually the same plug as the MSD, so you can like plug that right into a box, like a 6AL or whatever. All right, I'm gonna dig into this thing and see if I can't figure out how to put it back, or if it's gonna kick my butt. Okay, I figured it out. It wasn't too bad. I got the weights back in, and so these distributors are kind of interesting because they have underneath the weights, there's these little bushings that look like this. And based on the size of the bushing, so like there's a thicker one, and like here's the smallest one right there. So based on that is how many degrees it'll let the inside shaft advance the timing. So I went with the bushing that allows it to advance 21 degrees, because small block Fords usually like 13 or so degrees. Is it awkward that you can't see me, that I'm just talking over there? Small block Fords usually like about 13 degrees of initial timing. That's what I have on that Mustang, and it's the same camshaft that's in that car as in that car, and that car likes it. I think I'm all in timing wise like 32 or 34 on the 70, and it seems real happy. So I'm gonna start there with this one. So like I said, and then yeah, like I said, I've got the bushings that will allow me to advance 21 degrees, and then springs. So springs, this controls the rate at like how fast it comes in, right? So, you know, obviously a fatter spring is going to be slower. A super light spring like those, it'll snap in pretty quick. I'm going to put the mediums in there and just see how I like it. Tight. Okay. Yep. So as you give it the beans, right, centrifugal force is going to throw these weights out, and if you see the reluctor wheel down there, it's going to rotate in relation to that. So, yeah, that's the deal there. I'm going to put the collar back on this, but I can't put the gear back on because I had a cast iron gear, and cast iron is not what's going back in this. I need a different gear. Hey, here's something neat. If you've never seen one of these, it's like a punch block, and basically it's just a piece of steel with a bunch of holes in it that allows you to drive pins in and around things and through them. Works good, lasts a long time. Wagon, wagon, wagon! Alright guys, I know I'm all over the place on this one, but I'm kind of at a standstill on the distributor until my gear comes in. So I'm going to put this up, and then we're going to head back, and I think I'm going to cut the collectors off of those headers, and then we'll see about welding the V-band flanges on there. There's so much about this that feels wrong. Okay, let's go clean it up. Okay, headers are complete. We got the V-bands welded on both sides. So what I'm going to do now is install them back on the car, get them bolted up, and I think I got a clearance one tube on the other header for the passenger side, but we'll take a look at that here in a minute. So let's get this car up and get this header on. Okay, from up top, things are looking pretty good. I've got a few, like some line management to do. Still, that right there, that hose is, that steel braided line is for the clutch reservoir. So, or excuse me, to the clutch hydraulic throwout bearing. But the header's in there, it looks good. It looks good, lots of room. I was actually worried about steering initially, but clearly no problem there. And over here, I thought I was gonna have some clearance issues right down there, but I've actually got room. What I don't like, however, is how close this is to the header. So I may either rethink that brake line or come up with some kind of heat shield or something around the brake line. I don't know yet. I'll figure that out. Still more to come on that. But let's get under the bottom and let's get underneath her and see what it looks like from the bottom. All right. Okay, let's see. Let me turn this light on here so we can get a little bit better view. Okay, so clearly this needs to change direction. This is just what I had on there on the back of this because I did a video earlier on V-band clamps. This one actually also needs to rotate. So that needs to change. But look at this, lots of room here. Good clearance. This looks good. Clearance on the brake line. Everything looks good. I've got one more line back here I need to do something with. I think I could probably get to that from the top, but that is the rear brake line. It goes up to that hard line, so I gotta figure that out still. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. Pretty good. And then, of course, coming out of here is gonna be one's the bleeder and one is the pressure line for the hydraulic throwout, and I need to route that up here, maybe make some brackets for it, and then a plate to cover that up. But this is good. So the hardware here, these are 7/16 14 pitch nuts, and I didn't have any. And my son was out here, and my son thinks pretty highly of me, like way more than what I deserve. And he's like, "Dad, if you don't have any, why don't you just make some?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I could." And he's like, "Show me how you make the nuts." So we got a piece of bar stock and we made these nuts, and this is hardware that Eli and I made. So that's important to me. That little things like that are gonna mean a lot to me on this car. When this is his car after I'm dead and gone, and he's taking it apart. Maybe he'll remember those nuts. I don't know. But anyways, underneath the car, we're coming together. Oh, look what I just noticed. So when this car was towed or tied down at one point, that's like a hook from a wrecker. It pulled down this piece of floor. I could probably reintroduce that to the geometry it's supposed to be with a hammer. Anyways, so yeah, things are going good under here. This is looking real nice. So yeah, I'm probably gonna bring this out, boom, here a little bit more, boom, and then right here, about probably right behind the drive shaft, I'll do my X pipe, and then come back over here. Now I'd like to carry the exhaust over the rear end, but I don't know. This brake line might need to be relocated. I don't know if it's going to be worth it to do, or maybe since I'll have everything on V-bands, maybe I'll just shoot it underneath and then tuck it up over there. I don't know. We'll see. But this car's coming together pretty quickly. I'm happy with the progress on it. What do you guys think so far? Are you digging it? Okay, before we close this video out, this is the last thing I wanted to show you. This is a steam cleaning kit, and I bought this. Let me show you why I bought this. To clean, clearly, but I asked somebody online who's a painter for a living if they have like a tip or a trick that they use to remove dried, I don't know if you see that in there. That is not the headliner of a Bentley. That is dried on rubbing compound. And he said, a steamer. Go get you a steamer. So I came and I got me a steamer. And I'm going to jump back here with it. And we're going to see if I can clean this up with the steamer. Okay, so it kind of works. I mean, you can't really tell right now. There's still some junk back there. So I'm going to come back behind it with, in here is isopropyl and water. So between those two, I'm told it should be able to clear it all off. I did get it all off the seats with the steamer though, but off that back sail panel, it's kind of being a turd. So I'm gonna hit it with the alcohol. It's kind of dark in here, but I think you can see it's shaping up pretty good. Got everything cleaned off here. I'm actually dyeing the rear seats. The bottom part is already done, so I got to get this interior piece off. I think it like slides over and up or something. I don't know. I got to look it up so I don't break anything. But this car has a full down rear seat, so I had a bunch of overspray on this that I had to get off, and then I need to get the vacuum in there and make sure all the trim is good, and then put that back panel back on there. That's where the subwoofers, or not the subwoofers, I think there's a, not 6x9s, something, I don't know. Some nice like speakers that go back in there. So this car is just about wrapped up as well. Well guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here and call that completion for this video. I know this one was kind of all over the place and I apologize for that, but in reality, I got 50 million things going on and my life is never slowing down. So just the fact that I can even get in here and do this stuff, let alone make a video, I mean, heck, I'm impressed. So we know we're making moves on the Falcon. That sucker is close. You've watched this Mustang come together for the past 3 years. It's gonna be gone probably next month. A few more things. I gotta repaint this guy. I wasn't really super duper happy with how it came out. That is a headlight assembly, by the way, and the stone deflector. I have to repaint those. Fit it back up on the car, final color sand and buff, and that thing is done. So yeah, and then really what the biggest thing is going to be is what's going to replace it? Like, what am I going to do to fill the void of the Mustang? It's occupied my heart, my mind, and my wallet for the past 3 years. So, well, actually, for the first, I guess, 2 years, it occupied Mike's wallet. But then I bought it from him, and now it occupies mine. But it's about to occupy Mike's again because he's buying it back because he's in love with it. And I can't blame him because it's freaking bad. Look at that thing. Anyways, guys, we're making moves. Things are coming together. Stay tuned. That car's going to run very, very soon. We got the headers done on it. The V-band clamps installed. So, yeah, we're definitely headed in the right direction on the little Falcon. Guys, thank you so much for coming around, and we'll see you on the next one soon, hopefully. I'm going to try and stick to one a week.